Welcome back. As a U.S. soldier, he was part of the greatest generation who served in World War II.
Now, nearly 80 years later, a local Army veteran is facing an unusual rival, a funeral director.
Tonight, in her 3 News Investigates exclusive report, Marissa Science examines a conflict over a contract.
What we learned is a cautionary tale for all who prepay for their final arrangements. And, most importantly, what to do when a funeral director refuses to honor the contract.
He did his part as Allied forces pushed towards V-Day in World War II. To U.S. Army infantryman Myron Stern, the victory was costly. His brother was shot down over Germany in 1945. And his innocence forever changed.
Oh, yeah, I saw some combat. Not a lot, but enough to scare the heck out of me.
The Richmond Heights veteran is now 96 and finds himself at war once again, this time with an unlikely foe, a funeral home director who refused to honor his pre-need funeral contract he purchased in 1998.
Oh, I was outraged. I thought to myself, this is no way to take care of a 96-year-old veteran of World War II.
Stern and his wife Nora have kept a close eye on their records, including the original 1998 letter from Shapiro Funeral Services, spelling out the terms of the irrevocable pre-need contract.
I didn't want my family to have to worry about it. I wanted to take care of it so they wouldn't have to do anything about it.
Stern's plans weren't elaborate. He purchased a simple cremation. No services, no casket, no burial. It cost him $535. These modest plans make what happened next so much more unusual.
Tough luck.
The trouble began with this man, Jason Jardine. His family purchased the Shapiro Funeral Home. The Jardines own several facilities across Cuyahoga-County, dating back decades. Stern received assurances from Shapiro that his original contract remained in place under the new ownership. But when Stern spoke with Jardine, those promises turned into demands for more money.
I complained to him about it, and I got nowhere.
Mark Dan, Ohio's former attorney general and now consumer law attorney, said the law on pre-planned funerals is clear when a funeral home is sold.
That liability would transfer with the transfer of the funeral home.
And that's just one reason why Dan believes Stern's battle is so unique.
Look, we should all honor and respect particularly our World War II veterans, and so I find it really kind of odd and I think a real error in judgment.
So we went to Jardine seeking answers, and we found him at the funeral home in Strongsville that bears his family's name.
Could we ask you a couple quick questions?
If I knew who it was, because I want to make sure that...
Sure, Myron Stern.
I just need to grab the file and go through it.
While Jardine went inside, we waited and waited, nearly 30 minutes. Then, suddenly, Jardine walked out a side door and slipped into a black Lexus, speeding away as our camera locked in.
You've reached Jason. Please leave me a message.
Hey, Jason, this is Marissa Science with WKYC.
We tried calling Jardine, but got no response. It wasn't until later that day that he announced he would honor Stern's contract, calling it all a misunderstanding. And this, Jardine also mailed the Sterns a free flag box and an invitation to visit his funeral home for a free World War II-era flag. The veteran turned down the peace treaty, saying he no longer trusts Jardine to carry out his final wishes.
What ticks me off the most is that this is no way to treat a person. I strongly suspect that there are many others who have had the same thing done to them, and I resent it.
Since our investigation launched, Jardine also wrote a letter apologizing to the Sterns. Now, there are several options for consumers to file complaints. One is with the Ohio Board of Embalmers and Funeral Directors, which controls a fund to reimburse victims. In this case, Jardine has now decided to grant Stern's wish to transfer his fund to another funeral home. Marissa Science, 3 News.